Welcome to IVF in 60 seconds. IVF means in vitro fertilization. It's a form of assisted conception and is also under what we call assisted reproductive techniques. It's not only IVF that is a form of assisted reproductive technique. There are other techniques as well. But the commonest in our environment that people tend to want to go for is IVF. Many people have misconceptions, myths around IVF. But the truth is this, it's just a technology that helps women that have problems with conceiving to achieve that goal. Remember that somebody may have had 2 children in the past who still have to benefit from IVF. Probably because the reproductive potential or our ability to conceive now begins to drop for whatever reason. Also applies to the man. A man may have had children, fathered children in the past, but for one reason or the other, he is no longer able to, naturally, for certain reasons. That is where IVF comes into place. So for couples, many people may not exactly know when to see a doctor to counsel them on the need for further uh, intervention in this case. So usually from our previous video, we mentioned that infertility is when you have tried naturally for 12 months and nothing seems to be happening. Then you see a doctor. It does not mean that when you see a doctor after then, he's going to prescribe IVF. But investigations will be done. So the investigations will now determine whether the doctor will intervene by way of medications or he may say, okay, let's just do IVF. So IVF, if we have tried for some time, 3 years, nothing is happening, I think you should consider IVF. That should now be the purview of the gynecologist to say, okay, madam, I think we should just consider IVF in this case. Yes, the chances of you having twins or triplets from IVF is higher than when it is a naturally conceived pregnancy. So it is almost seen in public that whenever people get pregnant with IVF, they have twins and triplets. It's not so. In fact, we have more single teen pregnancy, that's one baby, than twins and triplets with IVF. Whenever there is a conception or there's a pregnancy from IVF, it is the same thing as a natural conceived baby. Once there is a positive pregnancy test, it's like any other pregnancy from henceforth. Just as a miscarriage can happen from naturally conceived pregnancies, a miscarriage can also happen from IVF babies. And they grow normally like every other naturally conceived babies. They don't turn out to be special babies or babies that have abnormalities. No. In fact, they are more likely not to have abnormalities than naturally conceived babies. More likely. Okay, when couples come to us and tell us that they want to have twins at once, that is why they are coming for IVF. This is what we tell them. We tell them that for IVF, because of the number of embryos that may be transferred into the womb, the chances of having more than one is there. The truth is this, we cannot really determine how many babies that we implant. It may be 1, it may be 2, it may be 3. So when they come, we just counsel them appropriately and tell them that when that happens, we should expect anything, either 1, 2, or 3. The lady can conceive naturally afterwards. IVF does not stop a woman from conceiving naturally. In fact, the irony is the case this time around. We have seen couples that came for IVF because of fertility issues. After the IVF was done and they conceived, they didn't have to come back again to us because conception now became natural. They were able to have more babies without having to do IVF again. This is where we'll be ending this week. Till next week, where we'll continue to address your health and fertility concerns. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notification button so that you can get our consequent videos.